The great Maya Angelou once said, "If you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going." While you're all cozied up and considering prenups, let's briefly discuss the reasons why prenups existed and how they're even more relevant today. Prenups aren't simply for the rich and famous, nor are they even remotely a recent concept. It may come as a surprise, but prenuptial agreements date back to at least ancient Egyptian times. That's over 2,000 years of legal precedent. While modern prenuptial agreements are entered in between partners, in olden days, prenups were negotiated between the couple's parents, with no input from the couple themselves. Ancient Egyptian prenuptial agreements could be either written or verbal, and they established the property that each spouse would bring to the marriage. These agreements were also used to determine the bride's dowry and bride wealth, therefore indicating the price that the groom would pay the bride's family in exchange for the woman's hand in marriage. The Hebrew culture also has over 2,000 years of history with the Ketaba, their version of a marriage contract. Ketaba means if it is written in Hebrew, and it is one of the first legal documents that gave financial rights to women within a marriage. In fact, the Ketaba is said to be the first written instance of a document that ensured that a woman inherited her husband's property if he died. In European cultures, dowries are often thought to be the earliest examples of prenuptial agreements. The royals were early adopters of the more modern interpretation of a prenuptial agreement. Edward III and Eleanor Butler reportedly signed a prenup in the mid-1400s. 3 centuries later, in the mid-1700s, Elizabeth Oglethorpe requested General James Edward Oglethorpe sign a prenup so that Elizabeth could ensure she'd have property rights. In the United States, prenuptial agreements were necessary for women until the Married Women's Property Act, MWPA, of 1848. Up until that point, women could wind up homeless with no property or money in the event of their husband's death, even if children were involved. While the MWPA ensured that women could inherit property in accordance with their husband's will, it didn't offer the preemptive protection that people have come to love about prenuptial agreements today. And now, in the 21st century, prenups are more diverse than ever. They come in many shapes and sizes, from lengthy and complex documents to rather straightforward agreements. Instead of being exclusively drawn to protect the interests of a wife, prenuptial agreements are now used on creating an equitable division of assets with which both partners agree. The history of prenuptial agreements can be considered rather strange, but it's quite interesting to look at how far we've come. If nothing else, it's a considerable change that you can take the power into your hands as a couple, instead of leaving your prenuptial terms in the hands of your future in-laws. And that, if you ask us, is quite a relief. Interested in starting your HelloPrenup? Visit HelloPrenup.com to get started. It's free to sign up and you can start creating from your Egyptian tomb or your home today. Need more information? Send us a note at hello@helloprenup.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Ciao!